To start with Christmas shopping, how hard is it to take all the kids Christmas shopping here, or is that great? We've seen some of the pictures, and it looks like it's so much fun.
It is. We were shopping for bait. We weren't shopping for toys. We went out shopping for the girls who needed basic pants and shoes. So it was more one of those days. But I have to do a lot of my Christmas shopping with catalogs because I'm usually in a different country and I need it shipped to the next country we're going to. So we try to do that or buy things locally in whichever country we end up in.
Angelina, I understand that you were really the spark plug for getting this movie finally made. Can you talk about, one, why you wanted to do it so much, what you thought of this character, Elise?
It wasn't, some of these have a really great intellectual answer, and then some of these are just, Brad was, there was suddenly a window between where we were at and him shooting Moneyball, and I said, is there something that shoots in a great location? That's a character that I haven't done before, and someone said, there's this project that shoots in Paris and Venice. And I said, okay, what's that one? It kind of started like that. But then I looked at it and I thought, well, I don't want to make a mistake of being an American doing a European-style film and it becoming too American. So I've always loved Florian's work, and I thought it's a crazy shot to take because I don't think he'd be interested, but I'll call him. And he was really interested, so suddenly I felt in very safe hands. And then Johnny was interested, and it was suddenly this kind of lovely project, but it was part of my desire to go to Venice.
Well, why Florian, since the one film that he's best known for seems to be way at the other end of the scale?
Yeah, no. I guess it's just one of those, who's one of the best European directors out there, and I knew that he had a sense of culture, and the way he was raised. He speaks so many different languages. He has a certain and I felt that was a character in the film, that it had a certain kind of sophistication to it, that it needed somebody very sophisticated.
Did you just know him from that film, or did you?
No, I knew of him. I knew a little bit about him, and I'd seen interviews with him when he did Lives of Others.
So you didn't personally know him?
I didn't personally know him very well. I just knew of him, and I thought he seemed just that I could learn a lot from him. But really, just as actors do, we look for any excuse to work with directors that are our favorite directors. so it's not as much that we know the material matches. We just kind of hope that it was a good excuse for me to get in a room with him anyway and talk to him, even if he said no, and we could talk about something in the future.
Some people said Brad had something to do with bringing you and Florian together.
No, Brad also loves Florian's work.
Question. I wondered, I read that this was the first time that you'd actually met Johnny Depp when you guys sat down to meet for this. Mm-hmm. So my question is, talk to me a little bit about, I guess, your chemistry on screen and how you guys work together that movie.
I had never met Johnny, but I've liked his films, and I think you can tell in watching his films that he's a very likable person. You kind of assume he's a good guy and a nice guy, and he is, and so it was just a pleasure. Brad had known him a little bit and said he's a great guy, and so we met in his office one day and talked mostly about kids and France, and it was just a very, very easy. It was very easy to talk to him, and I knew we'd have fun together. We'd have a good time. We seemed to have a laugh very quickly. So.
Were there any surprises with Johnny when you were working together? Something that you didn't really expect?
I didn't know how funny he was. He's very funny. So I laughed a lot.
And did the two of you improvise a lot during your scenes?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, we did. So most of it's not usable.
Okay.
So how important was, was not important the original movie? Because I heard that this movie was based on a French movie, Alexander Zimmer. I don't know what was released in the United States, but I mean, there's no level of DVD or anything. So I don't know if you even watch it or it wasn't like a forced role. And then I just checked some scenes of that movie. It seems to me that it was way more serious, like a serious thriller without any.
Yeah, I think we all made a decision not to watch it. We knew that the original script had some, was based loosely on it, but then Florian wrote the final draft. It took steps and steps away from it, and then started to get tailored to each different personality that was attached to it. And I think there were a few, kind of big things that were adjusted. More about emotional connection and things like that. Then you wouldn't see it as much plot, but it's more that there were some big sweeping. It's hard to explain, but we chose not to. It's not a remake.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't. No, I started. They actually gave it to me for fun. Oh, well, they didn't give it to me. I thought I should look at it because I heard it was based on something. And I was curious.
Yeah.
And I watched the first minute, and then I decided not to watch it.
Why?
Just because I didn't want to repeat something that had already been done nicely, and I wanted to try to find our own language, and so.
What was the scene like on the boat? Was that tough driving it, and did you guys have fun doing that?
No, I love that kind of stuff. No, I loved riding the boat. I was good, and Johnny trusted me, so we were all right.
Talk about your lasting impressions of working in Venice with you as an actress.
Oh, well, Venice is just heaven to work in, isn't it? I mean, for any of us to just be stuck, for 2 months anyway, Venice is pretty much the top of the list. It was beautiful, beautiful for children, and funny too, in some way, because you go to work and you don't know whether you're stepping up into a boat or down into a boat, depending on the tides, and then you drive your boat into some other place on the water, and you get it was just odd. Logistically, it was very odd to be on boats all the time, but loads of fun. And then you'd have dinners, and then halfway through your dinner, you'd have to get welly boots on because by the time you were eating, by the time you got out, the water had risen, and so everybody walks home in their wellies, and so it's fun.
What about the paparazzi when you were in Venice? Were they ever a problem? Because you can't really, it's open.
Yeah.
So they're just there.
They're just there.
Okay.
The line that you have in the callback about being grounded, the word, the best thing you can say about someone is where I come from is they're grounded, because you're the least grounded person I know. Was that in the script? First of all,
that was in the script.
It seems ironic because you say when you sat down, the first thing you did was talk about your kids. It seems like both of you actually seem very grounded compared to where you came from.
Thanks.
I wonder if you think that is true.
I do think I'm very grounded, especially in comparison to how I have. I think you become more and more grounded when you have children, and the older you get. And so I'm probably the most grounded that I've been in my life. And at the same time, I think in some funny way, being grounded allows you to be even more free. So there's a funny maybe misconception about what it is to be when you're younger and you're wild. You don't have as much control of your own life, and you don't have the ability to do things with as much bravery because you don't understand it. But then when you get older, you can kind of tackle bigger things, and you can handle them. And so I'm grounded, but my children keep me. There's chaos around me in a way there's never been. And things seem fuller, but certainly much more grounded.
When you say tackle other things, would that be like this directing that you're doing now? That seems like a much bigger step than being an actor in a movie, to be in charge of a whole film as a filmmaker.
I didn't plan on it. It just happened, and it was a really lovely experience. It was a great experience.
You're done?
Yeah, we finished.
Oh, okay.
The world knows you as an amazing actress, a career woman, and a mom. I'm wondering how you balanced for moms, how you balanced your production schedule and what that actually was in terms of like what it looked like 9 to 5, weekends off, whatever it was you did, with your family life.
Well, Brad and I have this. We never work at the same time. So, and the one good thing about being an actor is you work pretty solid when you work. But you usually work 5 days a week, and you only work for a few months, and then you're off for months, and you're home for months. So we actually have I'm very, very lucky as a mother, the amount of time I get to spend with my children.